Yo, I know what you here for. Let's get to that sports talk, baby. I got my boy Vance here. We ready to talk about some wild card weekend, wild card football because it was wild.
Yes, it
How
was.
we feeling about this wild card weekend, Vance? What we talking
Um, to be completely honest with you, I did not expect the outcome of the Texans Browns game. Through and through, I just didn't.
about? The Texas Browns game was
45-14.
I didn't wasn't expecting a 45-14 blowout. I just wasn't
No.
expecting it out of Joe Flacco. I'm thinking he's back. I'm thinking Joe Flacco's about to come in. He's about to be Ravens Joe Flacco and come out here and try to get a dub. But he wasn't. He was Joe Fluco. He's throwing flukes out there. He's throwing slicky yickies back to the linebacker and outside corners and stuff like that. Two pick sixes back to back in this game. I don't know what the guy's doing out there.
One of them, because I was actually watching the game in my room. One of them, it looked like Amari Cooper was like wide open. I just think you just didn't see him. I don't know if that's what it was, but it looked like you just didn't see him. Where do you stand on that? Because I said that game could go either way. I think you picked the Texans, right?
Yeah. Um, Cj Stroud, bro. The man's a dog, bro. The man's a dog, man. The man's a dog, man. He goes out there. He's a rookie, just a rookie. Remember this. This guy's a rookie,
Ohio State.
and
Yep,
he's
we had a
coming
good
out
one.
here putting up stats like 230 yards in the first half. Goes for 3 TDs. Who who else you wanted to do it like that, bro? Who else in the history of the game has done it like CJ Stroud? And is it D'Amico or is it CJ Stroud?
Both.
Is it D'Amico or CJ Stroud?
I
Tell
think
me, Vance.
honestly, I think, and everyone can say what they want to say about it. Everyone's like, well, if he had D Hop, he'd be even better. We don't know that. I think he's. I don't know about you, Dino, but to me, he's rookie of the year. He locked it up yesterday.
Rookie of the year without a doubt.
His
They
coach is
start
coach of the
off
year.
coach of the year, bro. And the crazy thing is, this team was 3-13 last year, and now this team is 10-7. The team is 10-7. It just wins a wild card game against the Browns. I'm not saying the Browns are all that or anything like that, but they still got good players over there. Njoku is no sweat. Amari Cooper, he can route you up. The man had 265 yards in the game a couple weeks ago. He's a main receiver. That's a good roster. Kareem Hunt getting touchdowns out there. He's balling. To start the game off, we had a touchdown here and there. CJ Stroud throwing bombs out there in 2 plays, and it looks like an exciting game where it's going to be closer. And then we come down to the end and it's a blowout. I don't know what happened to Joe Flacco at halftime. I don't know what they put in his drink, Gatorade or whatnot. But the man, his powers went away. Whatever powers he had in the first half, it wasn't doing nothing in the second half. And sometimes interceptions like these can stack up. When you got interception, when you throw an interception, a pick six, it can either hurt you or it can improve you. And then the next drive, he throws it to the outside linebacker, and he gets another pick six. After you was just out on the field, you making it a domino effect. It becomes a domino effect.
Just start stacking them. Yeah. Do you
Makes no
think?
sense.
Do you think the Browns will bring him back? Or how about this? Should
Browns,
they? Should they?
honestly, the Browns were a team into which I really legitly thought they had a shot to actually shock the world.
I did too.
So
I 100% agree with you.
that it's kind of like who you could say I told you so. Like kind of like we hyped them up too much, but the Browns. You remember with Baker Mayfield? He coming out of he comes out of Oklahoma. He goes to he goes to the Browns. They got the hyped up team with OBJ, Jarvis Landry, and we start hyping them up in a type of way, and then they don't even do nothing in the playoffs. They lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs, and then they done nothing after that. And they moved on from Jarvis. They moved on from Baker. They move on from OBJ. And now you got a stacked team right here. Number leads the league in defense. They lead the league in defense, but give up 45 points in this game, which makes no sense. You got Miles Garrett. You got teams like that. And if you hear my boy in the background, that's 3D in the background. If you hear him yelling, I'm on daddy duty right now. So I might got to bring him in here in a second if my boy gets too loud. So we might get a good visit from 3D in a second.
Do you think, piggybacking off of, you mentioned that defense, because the 49ers, I was at that game when the 49ers lost to the Browns, and the defense was ridiculous. Do you think that was a lot of players with not a lot of playoff experience that got exposed, or do you think it was just the historical thing of the Browns being unlucky?
I just think the Browns got unlucky in the second half. I feel they were only down 10. At a certain point, they were only down 10. And then once the game got out of hand with the 2 pick sixes, it was kind of like game over. And this was a team we thought had a shot to beat the Texans. Really, the Texans were the underdog in this game. Joe Flacco, he comes in. He's 6-0 or something like that in wild card games. He's not losing in the wild card. That was his first loss in the wild card. And we're thinking he's going to come into a rookie, and Cj Stroud has no playoff
And
experience. He's throwing to Nico Collins, who had a good game with 96 yards and a touchdown. But Tank Dell's not there. He's throwing it to Dalton Shorts tight end. He wasn't doing that good in that game. Had a little bit of drops here and there to start the game. But ultimately, that didn't hurt CJ Stroud. It improved him in the air. Like I said, throwing for 3 TDs in the first half and making up for large plays gained on the defense. I don't know what it was, but it was CJ Stroud's turn in the first half, and then D'Amico Ryan said, "It's my turn in the second half. I got you, my boy. Let me put my defense in the best position to get 2 pick sixes." So when you got a head coach that believes, and you got a leader in CJ Stroud that kind of believes, that believes, and he's coming out of rookie season, and he's the best rookie I've ever seen without a doubt. They moving on to the next round, and you gotta give it up for CJ Stroud. You gotta give it up for your former head defensive coordinator and D'Amico Ryans. You see him; he had them boys flying over there with Bosa, Greenlaw, Fred Warner. Them linebackers ain't playing
yeah,
over there, and you
ridiculous.
think he's going to come over to the Texans, who's been losing these past couple decades,
Did
and
I expect a
who's going
turnaround? Yes, not like this.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not a turnaround from 3-13, and now you're 10-7 and winning the playoff game. That's just something that doesn't happen,
No.
and it shows. You got to give D'Amico Ryans his flowers. Head coach of the year, CJ Stroud, offensive rookie of the year, the rookie of the year. Like I said before, injury we was talking about MVP. Now after the injury, he's still good as he was before the injury.
Do you think? Um, looking at it, I think what you said is a very good point. Going into this game, if you look at just QB coach alone, Stefanski playoff experience. D'Amico has playoff experience, but not as a head coach. CJ Stroud, rookie. Joe Flacco, Super Bowl winner. If you're looking at it, one would think, hey, this is not going to be close. The Browns have way more experience with a Super Bowl winning quarterback and a playoff experienced head coach. And it was the complete opposite way.
Yeah, yeah. D'Amico Ryans has a lot of experience in the stuff happening like this. He has experience in the playoffs and making it to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G and those guys, and ultimately it's being the defense every single season with the 49ers that's really carrying the back of the offense. But now this year, the 49ers, you gotta set offense really, and you gotta set defense. Not saying that your offenses were bad with Kyle Shanahan, with Jimmy G and stuff like that. Yes, you guys were scoring, you were winning, you were
Not the
efficient,
same.
but the defense was always the reason in why your team has gotten that far. But now you got a superstar caliber team with Ayuk, Debo when he's healthy,
McCaffrey,
Christian McCaffrey. You added him. George Kittle, he's always a wrecking ball on the blocking and
Big
the
13.
receiving. And then you got a defense that's still flying around, not doing a bad job over there.
Bosa,
And
Greenlaw, Travarius Ward,
exactly,
Eric
exactly.
Armstead. Yeah. I think another thing with and I want to give a quick shout out here. to the university, the Ohio State University, Cj Stroud, man. Everyone was ripped. Everyone would always
That's
get
your
on me about,
guy. Hey,
oh
look,
yeah. Well, everyone would
Ohio,
always be,
that's your guy,
everyone
man.
would, well, everyone would be like, well, Justin Fields is a bust. It's like I don't know if he's a bust. I just don't think he's on the right situation for him. But CJ Stroud, man, Ohio State got a good one, and they developed a good one.
They got a good team. That's a great team over there.
Do you think
Uh,
now? Let me, because we're on Houston. How far do you think they get? I think they could shock some people.
Houston has already shocked the world right now as it
Yeah,
is, and with uh, hosting the home game, the fans came out in a different type of way than what they've been coming out in a few seasons. You remember we had bags on our type of, on the heads. We had bags
yeah.
on heads for that team, and then moving on from Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson didn't. He felt like he was being wasted talent over there in Houston. Uh, uh, Johnson coming out talking about how he got his talent wasted in a D Hop. They move on from D Hop, which was a shocker.
Watt,
Yeah,
JJ Watt, yeah, even him.
JJ JJ retires in his last. He really didn't win. He didn't win a ring, being the best defensive player. He got wasted talent over there, and I think the Texans are getting tired of saying, "Yo, we got wasted talent here. We trying to actually make a run." And when your franchise says, "Bro, I'm trying to win," then things start to happen. But the Texans have
100%.
we years upon years, but it since Deshaun Watson his rookie season, that's the only time they was all right. But then after that, wasted talent. People didn't start believing, and that's when you got a clean house. And that's what we're doing here in Washington a little bit with the new regime and trying to get a new quarterback. Maybe Sam Howell might not be that guy, but still, you got to start over when guys start to not believe. And that's what they're doing with the Texans. And they can really shock somebody, as Vance said, in the playoffs. Let's see who they go up
I
against.
think, honestly, and you said it better than I ever could. Tank Dell, you're dropping 45 without him. When you get him back, if you get him back, whew,
And the thing is, who said Tank Dell was the not top was going to be a top guy? Like, who said that Nico Collins was going to come out here and get 100 yards in the playoff game? Like, he's throwing to people that's they're not. These are not Devontae Adams. These are not
no.
Tyreeks of the world. These are not D Hops of the world. This is Tank Dell and this is Nico Collins. And these guys are balling for CJ Stroud and they making up plays, like said. And when we start making up plays, this brings me up to this game, and we're gonna move on to this game. We got the Dolphins versus the Chiefs. Just let me the one of the
I'll
coldest
let you
games.
start. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the coldest games in NFL history, the fourth quarters game in NFL history. Felt like -20 out there. The regular temperature was like -4, but really felt like -20. How do you, as a Dolphins fan, as a Dolphins player, how do you come into that situation and even win? We knew it was going to be a grinding fight, but the Dolphins still came out there and Tua said it on the podium, kind of bad preparation. You carry the ball 21 times, and then the Chiefs almost carry it 40 times. We know this is going to be a running game. Every cold game, you need a running back who can run the ball. And Raheem Mostert has been great all year, and you only rush him 6 times.
I think another thing with that is Miami usually, I mean, Buffalo is a different animal, but that game, it looked at any point to you, Dino, did it look like Miami were going to take control of that game? And everyone's talking about, well, Miami have weapons. Maybe the weapons aren't the issue here. As much as I like Miami, and I do, I don't think the weapons are the issue. I think the man under center for Miami is the main issue here. And I don't say that to be rude because I think Tua is a great quarterback. But I think you have to have a long, hard look in the mirror this offseason and say, hey, is he the guy we go for with or isn't he? Speaking of that picture you just showed, did you? I've never seen that before. A helmet just explodes.
I honestly, I've never seen that happen. Patrick Mahomes was pissed about it. after he went on the sideline and he had to. It's freezing cold out there, and I know what he's talking about. A helmet has been sitting there all day throughout the game, even before the game even started, and now he has to switch his warm helmet that he was playing with,
to a
and now
cold
you got to
one.
put on this freezing cold, frozen snow probably got in it. Helmet on, and that is not comfortable for a quarterback. But still, they came out, they did their thing, they carried the ball. They it's just a game that you cannot win if you're a Dolphins fan. And I just feel like, yes, they got their advantages in the regular season with the heat, and they got their sidelines heated up. I
Yeah.
mean, they got their sideline shaded up while the visitor sideline is plus 15, 20 degrees because they got the
And
sun
they wear
beaming
white
on
at
them all day.
home.
But we're talking about the playoffs here. And when you talking about the playoffs here, I just feel like there should be some type of fair ground, even though, yes, you get a home game, you get the fans around you and stuff like that. But in a certain situation, in every time in the AFC playoffs, you get a cold team that's going to go in there and win it. Patriots been winning it for the last decade, winning seven Super Bowls, six Super Bowls, and they're a freezing cold team. Bills freezing cold team, almost in the AFC Championship, unless they're running into overtime against Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes has been winning it. And is it warm in Kansas City? We just seen it was -20. So I just feel like it's a huge advantage for teams to not have these domes in your cold. We're in 2024. You can't make a dome that can resist snow, kind of heated roof or something like that can melt the snow or whatnot when it's coming down. I just feel like we got to look into stuff like that more. You see the Texans, they got a dome. They played well, 45-14 ends up the result, but we got a sweat out grind game
The
here.
Texans dome is more so
The
because of how
Dolphins
hot it
wasn't ready.
gets. The Texans
The
dome is more
Dolphins,
so just because of how hot it gets.
yeah, yep.
So let me
So
ask you
they,
this: with Miami,
yeah.
if you're the GM of that team, before we get on to about the play, do you move on from Tua? Do you think it's time? Has he shown he's not the guy? I don't know personally. I just don't think he's the guy.
And you talking about Tua?
Tua, yeah.
Tua is a quarterback that's what we will say, and I know you don't like this. You're a 49ers fan. It's a lot of talks out there about this, but Tua is a game manager. Tua is a game manager. The guy has top main receivers who can get out wide open. This is why you get a fast receiver like Tyreek Hill we got here on the screen. You see the one play touchdown. If he's not getting one play touchdowns almost every drive, then this game might be a close game with anybody they're versing. 62 points total throughout 4 games, but you drop 70 on the Denver Broncos, and we know how bad they've been in their situations they've been going on. But soon as you go against a team in Kansas City, soon as you go against a team in Buffalo, you flop, and you only got one game won for a team that's above 500. Any other team are 1-6. You're 1-6, so you're losing against teams above 500. And what it looks like to me is a team that's not prepared in the game to carry the football when it's cold, that don't want to do the right things, preparizing. That McDaniel's good head coach. I'm not going to say he's not a bad head coach. I'm not going to say that. These guys are good. They got a long way to go. This is a team that was just built. So you give a team a chance. But Tua, he's a game manager. So you put great players around him. But if you're in the freezing cold, you're in ice. You got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. They're not going to be doing much of anything. So you got to figure out some QB runs. I'm not seeing Tua take off at all. He got some type of what ifs on the leg, but you need some QB runs in there. Put Raheem Mostert. I think I think it's McCaffrey who leads the league in touchdowns. Mostert's up there. Try to get him in the end zone.
I think even to add on to that, I had read something before this. Tyreek Hill had called it his revenge game coming back home to KC about how they wouldn't pay him, so he went to Miami. Tyreek had one great play. I mean, I think in a way he bailed Tua out because he caught that touchdown pass. But other than that, I've said this for a while, and I think it kind of showed without. After I said, I feel like it just kind of showed. that Miami have a ways to go. They're not there yet. They need to improve. But obviously, the thing I can't stand is like when they say a lot of injuries. Like I get that. Um, but at some point,
Uh,
as and you know this,
yep,
as much as me.
yep,
Good teams, injuries don't matter.
yep.
Injuries do
Yeah,
not
injuries
matter if
don't.
you're a great team because like that, at some point that's just an excuse.
Yeah, and we got a comment here. I think it's just I think it's just a replay. I think it's just a replay.
Yeah, they probably playing a rerun on TV.
Yeah, it's probably just a reroll because that's another thing. And I understand you, Buddha. These guys are playing on Peacock. Why do we have games that are only strict to stream? I don't like that. Just make it national. Just make it every
Make
time
it
we
NBC.
go again. Yeah, bro. We can't have these games only like stop trying to make everything pay-per-view. You're trying to make money off of everything, and it's pathetic, bro.
I agree with
Why are
that.
we have to download and get Peacock in order to watch a football game? When has it
That's
ever been
like
like
that'd be
that?
like saying hey that's I agree with you 100% because it seems like you're just trying to milk every dollar you can out of it. It's like, hey, watch this basketball game on Netflix. Like, no, I want to watch basketball on TNT if I'm going to watch basketball.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense to me
I
why
get why
you
they're
have
doing it, but at some point, it's too much.
it's it's way too much because a lot of people are last minute saying, "Hey, let me cut the game on. I know this is the only game on." And oh no, a promotion pops up to tell you you need to apply to Peacock. They don't know what's inflation going on. Things is high price. Groceries are high priced out here. Stuff we need to be paying for here and there. Rent ain't free. Rent not free. So having these games national, keep them national. Stop keeping them strict to places to where who's watching this. At least put it on Netflix. Who has Peacock? You got Peacock, Vance? You
I
watching
do. I
you
do.
actually got Peacock? All right,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Like I said, some people got Peacock, but I don't
There's
got Peacock.
because there's a sport I watch on there that's I watch another sport on there, and it's only through Peacocks. That's why I have it.
But freezing game, my boy. Look at my guy. Look at my guy Andy Reid. What is going on out here? It's freezing cold out here, and you got the Dolphins who usually play at 80-degree, 70-degree weather up in Kansas City. That's asking for an L. And the thing is that I'm not liking. The thing is I'm not liking is if the Chiefs would have played the Dolphins in Miami, would it be the same advantage with the Heat? No, it wouldn't.
I don't think it
It
would have
wouldn't be
mattered.
that
I
cold out
honestly
there.
don't. I think Kansas City's just a better team.
I think in circumstances, I feel like the game would have been better than what it was. It wouldn't have been a blowout or
I think it would have
whatnot.
been better. Yeah, but I still think Kansas City wins. I agree with you. I think it's better. I still think KC wins though.
Yeah, I think it would have been better, but I still had Kansas City either way. Yeah, you're right. But once you got fast receivers like that and they actually can get their feet up and underneath them right, they can actually feel because you feel different when you in the cold. It's negative to 20 degrees out there. Not saying that this Kansas City ain't going through the same thing. You see Andy. You see Andy with the mustache. The man's frozen out there. He's standing on the sideline. Play calling might be hard for him. He's he's an old type coach. It's cold outside. So yeah, it's affecting them too, the way the Dolphins are affected too. But when you got a hot team like that, you're asking to lose this game. It's just not fair. I don't think it's fair. I just
I
don't think it's
think
fair.
another thing with that is looking at it. You obviously you play football, so you know this. I cannot imagine even just how bad the receivers' hands were hurting just trying to catch those footballs.
Oh, oh yeah. As a football player, used to play football for Teal College that Vance goes to now. Shout out to Teal. Winning their first couple games this last season, doing their thing. Shout out to Teal. I went to that school, so I always love for that school because that's where a guy went. So playing football as a linebacker, catching in warm-ups, all that stuff, you gotta try to stay warm. And if you're not staying warm, you're gonna feel every hit, you're gonna feel every catch, you're gonna feel everything coming at you because it's 10 times harder. It's just your bones are freezing out there, your bones are falling apart out
Teeth
there.
are chattering
And
with
then
that cold.
And this is another thing we got to talk about. We got the Bills versus the Steelers move to Monday. How we feeling about this game? TJ Watt out. Uh uh even this is a game that I feel like the Steelers could win these type of grind out games. How we feeling, Vans? You set the floor on
Um,
this.
yeah, I'll take this one. The reason I don't feel the Steelers are going to win is because their record without TJ Watt is not good. Not to say they won't, but there's been a lot of speculation that maybe they moved the game to help the Steelers get some players healthy, whereas the Bills don't have that luxury. So, do I believe that? No, I believe it's a football game. You got to play with what you have.
We got
However,
to work with what you,
yes.
yeah.
However, I do feel that and this is just me. I do feel there was maybe some aspects that could help the Steelers, but at the same time, it's in Buffalo. Mason Rudolph, I mean, he's a good quarterback, but we without TJ Watt, I don't know what to expect from the Steelers. I mean, we went to a school where there was a bunch of Steeler fans, and Steeler pride is a thing. We both know it. The Steeler pride is absolutely a thing, but there's a difference
Yeah.
between pride and being realistic.
Yeah.
Realistic me says this is not going to be close, but would I be shocked if the Steelers keep it close? No. But at the same
I
point, I
think it's
also
gonna be a grueling. I think it's gonna be a grueling battle on the ground, but at the same time, I just think the Bills are gonna. It might be. I'm looking for a blowout. They don't have. They got Mason Rudolph. I'm sorry. Same guy.
George Pickens,
Is this the
he's
same guy?
special.
The helmet. This the same guy who got hit with the helmet.
Miles
Is it that
Garrett,
same
yeah,
guy? You talking about that same guy? I'm sorry, Mason Rudolph can never be never in my mind, right? As of right now, prove me wrong, Mason. Maybe we, but you are not good to me. Sorry to break it to you. I don't think you're beating a Josh Allen who's
no,
been balling like an MVP this
probably
past
should
second
win
half of the
MVP.
season. Yes, and a quarterback who is generational. Mason Rudolph is the third quarterback in at this point. I think second quarterback in after Kenny Pickett, his fallout. Now Kenny Pickett, that's another situation that we could talk about. Don't think he will be a starter for the future for the Steelers. But you can't have TJ Watt, the best defensive player in the league to me, out of the lineup with Mason Rudolph starting as your quarterback and expecting to win. Mike Tomlin, he finds a way to win games like this. I would say Najee Harris is going to be important. Warren is going to
Pickett's
be important on the ground. And I feel like their running backs are better than the Bills running backs. James Cook, how's he gonna feel in the cold like this? Skinny guy,
well
he needs his juking.
to again when they played their last couple games. There was one game where I think Josh Allen threw the ball 7 times. I think it was against Dallas, and he just went off against Dallas in the freezing cold in Buffalo. So James Cook, I feel like has the ability to go off. I wouldn't be shocked if he goes off because I feel like if it's this much snow, do you think it'll be? Do you think they're going to throw it much? Because again, Josh Allen can run you over. He has a huge arm. He's better than Mason Rudolph. That's not even up for discussion. Do you think they throw it much though? If anyone can throw it, he can. But do you think they will?
I think for some reason Josh Allen and the Bills, they just want to throw it. So I'm not surprised if they do throw it. I'm not surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers do throw it because Mason Rudolph, even though he's not comparable to Josh Allen, he's been throwing for like 250 to 300 these past games. He has been. Uh uh Pickens ain't been no he ain't been no scrub. The guy's making plays. Deontay Johnson, his big play, 70-yard touchdown. And that game he played last game, I forget the team they played against, but he's been making plays with Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph has became a spark for this team in a different way. So will it be a shocker? Am I a betting man that the Steelers are going to win? No. I'm putting all my money, all my parlays above 200 passing for Josh Allen, running backs and Warren. I'm looking for him to go over 50 rushing yards. Najee Harris over 50 rushing yards. Najee Harris touchdown. I feel like it's going to be a grind. And the Steelers with Jerome Bettis, let's not forget that era. Let's not forget they do that running game. They like these type of games.
I think also Josh Allen, again, my favorite quarterback to watch in this league. I think he's so much fun to watch. I think he's an absolute stud, difference maker. If a thing with him, if he does not turn the ball over tomorrow, this game's a blowout. If he can keep the ball in his team's hands and not throw it to the other team, not turn it over at all. I think if he can throw zero picks, zero turnovers, this game's not close. I think for me, that's the part where I'm like, Josh could maybe try to give the game away because he tries to be Superman instead of Clark Kent because he knows he
Yeah,
can be. He knows I can make a play that I can make a play that you can't make. Let me go and try and do that. Maybe he throws a pick. I think
exactly.
if he keeps the ball, is smart with it, this game's not close. If he turns it over, that's a different story.
And that's had been like the first half of the season. They started a little bit all right, and then there was a stretch where in these games where Josh Allen he turned over the ball. The offense ain't looking right. Stephon Diggs always complaining about how he needs the ball and how he's not performing, and he knows it's not him the reason why he can't get the football. And this is it's we in the playoffs. Anything can happen in this. If it only one, it takes one game, as we know, Vance.
One bad
It
play,
takes one
even.
game. It takes one game for a team to start messing up. You're
Yep.
not doing right. You're not getting the football out. It's just a bad game for you, and you ended up losing it. So I can see it happening. And reminder, if you hear my boy in the background, he's yelling and screaming a little bit. He's a newborn. I mean, he turned one. He turned one in December 13th, so 1 years old in 1 month. But the guy, he's a screamer. So shout out to that.
So let's go to the next game. Dallas Green Bay. Where do you stand?
Dallas Green. Hey, Dallas, we looking for that L from the Cowboys. They think they going to the Super Bowl. You're not going to the Super Bowl. But Vance, take him away. I'm gonna go grab my boy in a second. I'm gonna go show him my boy. He's yelling and screaming right now, so he want to
All
be in
right.
the video. Let me go grab.
All right. So for me, this game is going to go one of two ways. Do I think the Cowboys lose? No. But as a 49er fan, also, sorry, Cowboys. Right here. Yep. Sorry, Cowboys. I think Green Bay loses this game. Do I expect it? Yes. But at the same time, like we've mentioned earlier, it's football. Anything's possible.
3D in the building. Let's go 3D. Woo!
How you doing,
Let's
buddy?
go 3D. Yes, sir.
So I
3D
was
in the
just
building
saying.
about to talk some football.
So Dino, I was just saying. Do I expect Green Bay to win? I do not. If I was putting money on it, would I put
Uh,
my money on Green Bay? No. But as you always say, and as I always say, it's football, it's sports, anything's possible.
Anything possible. And Jordan Love, I'm looking for you to make plays, baby. You've been playing well in these past couple games. I don't care what Vance talking about. We looking for our Cowboys L. I don't want to
I know,
see
I
the
agree with
Cowboys
you.
in the next round.
I agree
I
with
don't
you.
want to see. I don't want to see Michael Parsons hit the podcast talking about we going to the Super Bowl, and now all these Cowboys they raving and screaming about how they going to the Super Bowl. We don't want it. I don't want it. But like Vance said, I can respect his take. You got CD Lamb, that's a baller. You got Dak Prescott, that's a baller. He's balling. He's been balling this year. Last couple years, we were looking for him to get removed from the Cowboys. Not that good. He had interception problems, kind of like a Josh Allen, trying to make too much happen, and he's throwing turnovers. But now you got Brandon Cooks making plays for you. You got Michael Parsons. He coming off the edge at 100,000 speed after a quarterback like like Jordan Love. You stand in the pocket too long, you will find your face into the ground. You will find a broken helmet like Patrick Mahomes. Don't you stand in that pocket too long, Jordan Love.
I think another thing, especially with what you said, is I don't know if it's just my team is doing it to these people, to these NFC East teams, or what it is, but I'm just gonna say this. I think we've kind of internally destroyed the Eagles. They have not looked good since they played us. Since after they played us, like have they looked good in their last couple of games? No. Dallas have looked good unless they've played a good team. Look at 42-10 in Santa Clara against the Niners, 31-10 against Buffalo in Buffalo. So this is the playoffs. So they're all good teams, Dino. I just think with how young, because Green Bay is the youngest team in football, Jordan Love's been there for 4 years. This is his first playoff experience. Again, I'm with you. I don't like Dallas, But if we're just being realistic here, I think Dallas wins this game. But I'm with you 100%. But realistically, Dallas shouldn't lose this game.
Dallas is a team that has been praying. This is their season. They think it's their season. I think it's their best shot at the Super Bowl. I don't have them in the Super Bowl. I got different teams here and there. I'm looking for a Niners Ravens Super Bowl. We seen the colors on the numerals. We seen the purple and
And
kind
the
of
red.
the reddish kind of color. It's already in the script. The script, the writers are putting 49ers and the Ravens in the Super Bowl, and I'm
The
a
two one
betting
seeds,
man on
yeah.
it. And I do not want to see Jerry Jones, him smiling in there, and then they come in up to Michael Irvin. Don't have Michael Irvin up there. We don't want to see him. We do not want to see him. So whatever you do, Jordan Love, make the Cowboys day hell. Make it hell.
If you
Even
can't do
though
it, someone
they're
else
going to sit
will.
this one out.
I feel like another thing is, and I don't want to like put a dampener on Green Bay, but besides Jordan Love and Christian Watson, this is no
They have nobody.
slight. There's nothing that they have that's better than the
They have
Cowboys.
no shot. I will tell you that they have no shot. But if you got the
It's,
right ear in that locker room, you come out with some passion, you come out fast, you come out tackling, you come out smacking the ball, hitting the ball. A team like Pretty Dallas, you see they $6 billion dome they've been sitting in. They think they sitting comfortable. Try to go in here, put a hat on a hat, try to make plays. You can make some plays. Tell them, make some plays, make some plays,
I
make
think
some
another thing
plays.
is if you're Mike McCarthy, how bad of a look would that be? You losing to your old team. Now,
Mike
let's.
McCarthy, if you lose this game, Dak Prescott, if you lose this game, Dan Quinn, if you lose this game, I can see the house
I
being
think
swept.
Dan
Dan
Quinn's going to
Quinn
be a
already
head coach.
has offers somewhere else to be a head coach.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Seahawks for Dan Quinn. I'm looking at Atlanta's a job. You already been there before. We seen the fallout. Maybe you can get your team back. Let them repeat their situation and try to win it this time with the Atlanta Falcons. But when we're talking about this game right here, this is a big game for some careers here. McCarthy, this could be your last coaching debut.
I was
You've been
about
in
to.
this.
I was about to. I 100% agree with you for one reason. I don't mean to cut you off, but here we go. I feel like if they lose this game, Dallas, that is, do I think they will? No. But if they do, I think, like you said, McCarthy's out of the building. Dak's not getting his extension. Although the reason Dak's not getting an extension, but he has to stay there or he actually may because you know why Dak might have to be there. Do you see what his buyout is? His cap hit.
I think, yeah, that's
It's a
another thing.
$63 million cap hit. They're not going like Dak will be there next year. Will
Dak has
McCarthy be
been
there next year?
overpaid.
If they lose this game, I think McCarthy's gone. But Dak with a $64 million cap hit, you can't get rid of him.
Exactly. And you don't really take that cap hit for a guy who hasn't been the ceiling has been the ceiling for him for the past couple years until now you started playing up to your contract. Other than that, your rookie year was your best year, but then when you got to when you got the contract, you were absolute buffoonery. You and Zeke
The
playing down
reason
to the
that his rookie
standard
year
of the
was so
contract.
good, I think what you just said is the reason. The reason his rookie year was so good was because of Zeke. Zeke was still really good coming out of Ohio State. He had the burst, he had the quick movement. Like Dak's rookie year was because of Zeke. Zeke was so good, and I think it hit a lot of Dak's problems.
Yeah, Zeke, like I said, you get on that rookie contract. You're playing for something. You're playing for something, and you're playing for a long-term deal. And he got that long-term deal. Not saying he was bad, saying he was all the way bad. He was not all the way bad as a running back after the deal, even though his numbers started to fall. He still got in the end zone. When you 5 yards and in, give it to Zeke. Take Pollard out. That's something they haven't been having with Pollard. He can break out at some points, but Pollard can have a cold game. If Pollard, this could be a bad game if Pollard doesn't show up. I'm telling you that right now.
Where do you stand on what are your thoughts on what I'm about to say? Do you think, because we've all heard it, like this is, I would agree with him to one extent about what I'm going to say. I keep hearing this is Dallas's best shot to get to their first NFC title game in 28 years. I tend to agree with that, but I just think
Man, leave,
because of
leave
history,
Devin Booker alone.
because of history, and because of circumstances that are out of their control, I think they're going to say it like every year, and they're not going to get there. My NFC title game, I've told you already, I think is Lions Niners.
Lions, Niners. Hey, look, Lions got one coming up tonight, baby. So let's start off the floor with that one. Advance hitting it right on the button. Lions versus the Rams. Stafford back at his old team.
Back
Golf
in
back
Motown.
at his old team. It's time to showdown. That is the showdown of today, and that is the game of the week. Eminem, he's on social media crying about it too, on about how Stafford try to lose this game. He wants this game to be won. Eminem is calling for it. He didn't rap for you. Remember, he didn't rap for you. So, hey, look, Stafford, maybe you try. I don't. I let the Lions win. We want the Lions to win. They haven't been there ever. They haven't hosted a playoff game ever. So that team is gonna that atmosphere is gonna be electric. Detroit will be electric. They first game. I'm looking forward in that atmosphere, and I know you're looking for advance. And what do you think might happen in this game?
I think LA will make it a game because LA is the team that, if I, as a Niner fan, I'm the most scared of because they have beaten us to go to Super Bowl 2 years ago when Matt won his ring. So that's a team that scares me the most. But I just think Detroit, they're like the Browns, but it's been even longer coming for them. And they have the team to do it. Like, think about, they don't have a veteran quarterback. I get that. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back, Jahmyr Gibbs,
Yeah,
the running back,
Jahmyr Gibbs, uh,
Amon-Ra, Jared
Williams,
Goff,
the rookie
Jameson.
wide receiver Williams. They got some talent on this team, and Jared Goff, he's been a sniper lately. Can't lie to me, Vance. He's been throwing like a
Yeah,
sniper.
he's good.
And Decker reported. Decker did report.
See, this is why I think if I'm a fan of Dallas, I don't want to play Detroit again because this is what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to ask you. This is the Cowboys' best shot, but if I'm a Cowboy fan, I don't want to see Detroit again because anyone with this as much as me. If you lose a game, you shouldn't have lost. You're going to do everything you can to try and make it happen. So if you play it again, you win. I think. So while I agree this is Dallas's best opportunity, they don't want to see the 49ers again. While they claim they do, they don't want to see Detroit again. Even though they beat Detroit, Detroit was the better team. So
Detroit is just a better team here.
I just think they're a better team all around.
Yeah, you can argue who's the better team because you got over here. These aren't a slight. That's why this could go either way. You still got Matthew Stafford, who won a Super Bowl. Sean McVay, he's a hell of a play caller, like Kyle Shanahan under that tree. I don't know how we let go of all these guys for Washington. We had them under the tree, but that's a conversation no here, no there. But Sean
within the
McVay is a
NFC,
great play caller. He has the playmakers with Cooper Kupp. He has Puka out there ready to ball out for him. He has the receiving record for a rookie. The guy is a baller.
The reason that LA as a 49er fan scare me the most because they play us hard every time. We beat them most often, but they play us hard. And I saw a stat with Stafford. I think he should get more love than he does for one reason. He's had 3 receivers. These 3 receivers I named have had their best seasons with him. Megatron had the single season receiving record. Cooper Kupp won the receiving triple crown. Puka Nacua had the rookie record for most yards by a rookie. What do they all have in common? Matthew Stafford. So this guy is a ridiculous quarterback. And I think I don't know. Deep down, I feel Detroit's going to win. Although, would I be shocked if they lose? No. But I just feel like their time is now because I think they're in the same box as Dallas. I think this is their best shot.
I think Matthew Stafford and these guys have the best shot this week to win it. They're hosting this game.
Are you picking
I'm
LA?
looking for love from the fans. Bring it on, Detroit.
Are you
Matthew
picking LA?
Stafford still had the yeah.
Oh,
LA. Their defense. Remember, let's not forget Vance. That
Aaron
guy
Donald.
9-9 on that defense.
Yeah.
We still got him. You think is he going to make a factor this game? Do you think Aaron Donald's going to make a factor this game?
I think he's going to cause some problems. I do. I agree. I'm with you on that. I think he can cause some problems. But as you also alluded to earlier, Jared Goff, the last couple of games has been playing great. Dallas game notwithstanding, he's been playing great.
He's been playing great. And the last loss they took was to a referee. That's who they lost to. That is who they lost to. They lost to a referee. So
where do you go ahead?
My thing is with this game, since it can go either way, who do you think will you be versing this next round after this bye week? We still have to think about the Ravens and the 49ers.
We play the team with the lowest seed plays the Niners. So I'm trying to see who that would be. Give me 1 second here. Playoffs. Okay.
You'd probably be versing the Steelers if they win or the Bills. I'm tripping. You in the NFC.
That's AFC. They're AFC.
You'll probably be playing the Buccaneers or the Eagles.
Yeah, we would be.
So if the Buccaneers, I hope the Buccaneers don't win. That would be pathetic. That would be an easy road.
I think, like I said, I think this game for me, I think the Bucs win this game, and I'm like 60-40 on that because the Eagles. We mentioned the first time we did this, the Eagles coordinating defensive coordinator change didn't help them at all. I think it made it worse in that regard. So I feel like if the Bucs win, they'll put it more of a challenge for the Niners. I still think the Niners would win. I think after we played Philly, I think it kind of went all downhill from there. I feel like if we play them again, it might be worse. Philly are a better team, but at what cost? If you made a coordinator change that didn't help and you've lost a bunch of games in a row, you are they going to get back on track or aren't they? I don't know. Who do you think wins the game?
Philly wins that game easily, but I think between you and Philly, that's a game to where y'all played so many times. Who knows what's going to happen the next time? Who knows what's going to happen if you guys come out there and Purdy plays like we remember that little spurt where we're thinking Purdy has reached his ceiling and then he's failed. Like it's stuff like that happens that you can't really control.
Okay, I need to touch on that real quick. I watched this guy play live in Cleveland, and I have something to touch on with that. People that talk about that, it gets on my nerves for one reason. I understand that he was the last pick in the draft. Always is going to be that way. I understand that. What I will say, though, is this. I was at that game. Obviously, we missed a field goal. We lost the game. That was a game. What most people didn't see was who orchestrated the drive before we missed a field goal to get us down to about the 20-yard line. Brock Purdy did.
Exactly.
And I'm looking at my dad thinking, why are we not going for this? We're at the 20. We're at the 20 and it's second down. Why aren't we going for this? So I understand what you're talking about, Dino, with like he didn't look great in those 3 games, but he had us in a position driving down the field to win the game. He drove us down the field. No Debo. Ayuk was not a factor. Raymond McLeod got hurt. McCaffrey was out. Trent Williams hurt his ankle. Everyone's like, oh, he can't win without McCaffrey, Debo, and Trent Williams. Not true. He drove us down the field, and we decided to kick a field goal. So, yes, he has the ability to do it, but the coach made, in my opinion, in my humble estimation, a boneheaded decision. He has the ability to do it. They just hold it against him.
Yeah.
As
Like I
someone who was
said,
at that
a
game, I
boy's
saw it
in
from a
daddy
different.
duties.
Yeah,
Yeah, the boy is
as
daddy
someone.
duties. Mommy ain't
Yeah,
here right now, so this boy kind of going wild. You
yeah.
see me rushing back and forth,
No,
but
I
I
got you.
listened to what you said. I listened to
For
what you
me,
said.
as
Brock,
someone who saw it from a live perspective, I just took it differently
yep.
because you're watching it on TV. It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same. So when you got Purdy making plays like that, we want Purdy making plays like that. And Purdy went and you cannot fault the man for making a play here and there. And then once a breakout run happens with Christian McCaffrey and Debo Samuel, oh now he's a game manager because these guys are making plays. No, the quarterback is the quarterback, and he's getting the ball to his receivers. And if they make plays, they make plays. All Purdy cares about is winning. All the analytics out there, all the people who say this about him, and all the people who say this about any quarterback out there, they were making their money either way. They really don't care what you're saying. And right now,
Yeah,
he has his team on with the bye week, going against the
number one
lowest
seed.
seed. And, yep, he got him at the 1 seed. They're about to go. They're about to go against a team with the lowest seed. They have the best route to the Super Bowl, and I think it's Purdy's year. I think it's Kyle Shanahan's year. I think it's this 49ers franchise year, and we can see them going against them. And now that we got the Baltimore Ravens, are they sitting back too comfortably here? We seen them do this one more time back when they had 13 wins, and we thought they were going to win a game, and they end up losing in the
Steelers.
playoffs. Are they
Was
going
the
to
Steelers
win
the
this
last
time
game?
in the
Yeah.
playoffs? Lamar Jackson says it's going to be different.
So I'm with you on the Super Bowl picks, Niners, Ravens. Although we did see that in the regular season, and I don't want to see that game happen again. Brock Purdy threw 4 picks, and the first 3 picks he threw, as someone who watched that entire game, yes, it was a tough watch. I understand that we lost, but if you're breaking it down, there was the 3 interceptions he threw. Again, they're interceptions, so they're on his record forever as interceptions. He was a split second late on the release 3 times. That's why they were picks. The first pick he threw a split second earlier, he hits Debo in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. So I get their interceptions, but as I hear a lot of guys on TV say, not all interceptions are created equal. That is absolutely true.
Oh yeah, for
Was
sure. Because you can get a
if it's
play where
tipped up
your
in
wide
the
receiver,
air, yeah.
yeah,
If
yeah, it gets
Brock Purdy
tipped up in
releases
the
the
air.
ball, split
Yeah.
set, yeah. If Brock Purdy releases that ball a split second earlier, that's a touchdown. But he didn't, so it's an interception. We can play what ifs all day. I want that matchup again because I think we can beat them, but Brock Purdy needs to play better than he did against them. I think that's Super Bowl. I'm with you, but I just feel we play them again. We gotta improve. We can beat them. I mean, if
Yeah.
the Steelers can beat them, we can beat them.
And like I said, both sides are we looking at Ravens, we looking at the 49ers, and we can see these teams in the Super Bowl. We looking forward to wild card weekend and more of these games coming up today. And we love these games from yesterday, but bit of a blowouts in these past 2 games. Connor almost fell asleep in that second Cole game. But we got some more games coming up this weekend. We got the 49ers still to play next week. The Ravens still to play the week after that, in that week too. And my boy Vance, we talking baseball. How much money we got going around? What we got going
So,
around, Vance? What's going on?
so for those that don't know, whenever we do our radio show, Dino was the basketball guy. I did the baseball guy because I played baseball at a very high level, and we both did football. So I grew up playing baseball. For those who don't know, so I
Yeah.
know a lot about it. I'm a people. It's gonna be weird because my sports teams. I'm all over the place. I'm a 49er fan. I'm a diehard Yankee fan. My favorite sports team, and an Ohio State fan. Basketball, I've always said. Dino's like me. We don't really have a favorite basketball team. We just like LeBron.
Yeah, my boy's LeBron, and that's the GOAT. I don't care what y'all trying to say in the
Yeah.
comments. Y'all try to come at me. That's the GOAT. Back with Vance.
So baseball. Juan Soto has signed the biggest arbitration contract ever, $31 million for 1 year. Good Lord. Marcus Stroman is a New York Yankee, 2-year deal. The amount of money is not confirmed yet, but he is a Yankee. We've got Jordan Hicks. I know you know who that is. We were talking
How
about him.
how
4-year
did
deal.
how does that improve the Yankees? Does that improve the
We needed
Yankees
starting
to
pitching. The Soto or the Stroman deal? Which
Okay.
deal? No, which deal? Which one? Which one are you asking about? Soto or Stroman?
I'm talking about not Soto, but
Stroman, Marcus Stroman.
yes, yeah,
We
him.
needed starting pitching, and he's our third starter. We're looking at getting Blake Snell, which would improve us another because we need starting pitching. We have the best pitcher in baseball, Garrett Cole, won the Cy Young Award. Carlos Rodon's a great number two, but he can't stay healthy. It was his first season with us, so hopefully he can improve that this year. Stroman's a three. Our four is Nestor Cortez, and our five is Clark Schmidt. I like Clark Schmidt, but he should not be a five. I think if we get another good starter here, this is where MLB's in for a world of hurt because the one thing I've learned about baseball, and you learned this from me, people love to hate on the Yankees because it's like they're like the Dallas Cowboys. They're the evil empire. No one likes them because they win.
Yeah. And there's
But
always that team in those franchises like the Lakers and stuff like that. Those are the teams
Boston,
you want to beat. The
yeah.
Yankees are a team that you want to beat. If that's matchup is in that matchup, you're circling that on your matchup and you're playing hard.
I've also said that I think it's interesting, and again, I don't mean to just dash Dallas here, but I just think it's interesting. Everyone calls Dallas America's team, yet they don't even have the most rings in their own sport. The Yankees have the most rings in their sport, and it's not particularly close. So I get why people love to hate them.
And how many is it? Y'all, I know y'all got the most all time, but how
I
many
want
is
you
it?
to take a guess.
Probably like, probably like 20.
More.
So
More than 20.
you said 24?
More than 24.
What?
Little more.
That sound like somebody cheating. That sound like
We have
somebody
27.
like
We
said
also have
Vance, a guy who loves his baseball. I'm a guy who loves my sports, but 24 Series
27.
championships doesn't seem right kind of right here.
I'll
That's a
explain
lot
to
of
you
winning.
why. I'll explain to you why. So in the night, and this is way before our time. So just keep that in the back of your head. Keep that in mind. 1920s, we won 5 in a row. But in the 1927 Murderers Row team is the best team in the history of baseball because all 9 of those guys in that lineup are in the Hall of Fame. All 9 of them. So that's the best team in the history of baseball. They won 5 in a row with a guy, I don't know if you've heard of him, Babe Ruth, probably the greatest baseball player ever. He was on the Yankees. The Yankees in the 90s, which I wish I would have been alive for because it was a ridiculous team. They won 4 in 5 years. They were like
So they were just the best team in baseball. That's all.
they're
That's
a
what it
team
is.
that you want to play for, but in playing for them, there's a lot of rules that you have to abide by. I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I'll give you one example. The Yankees, right? You can't have any facial hair. You can't have any hair below the collar. That's a rule they
Yeah.
have. But when you're a team like the Yankees, you sell out every game. People want to play for you. You're gonna abide by those rules. What are your thoughts on that? Because I've heard some people tell me it's outdated. I personally like it. I think it makes the players look professional because you're getting paid to play a sport. You don't want to look like a caveman. There's a guy named Johnny Damon who played for the Red Sox and then played for the Yankees. If you look at the guy on the Red Sox, he had long hair and a huge beard. Goes to the Yankees, he looked like a used car salesman. So what are your thoughts on that? On having a grooming policy?
Well, my thing is you don't want to come to a franchise where it feels like you're getting put in jail, but all the bright lights are on you. Like I said, comparing this time, that's kind of the two. Like you said, you got the Cowboys here, you got the Yankees here. Jerry Jones, he runs it. As you can see, Jerry Jones, he runs that thing. If you're not playing football well, you think you're a showboat. You think he gonna get you right up out of there, especially if you're not one of his players he drafted. He loves the players he drafts. So when you come into a team like the Yankees, and sometimes if I'm the best player on the team, I'm trying to get the Russell Wilson treatment. I'm trying to have my own workout area. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to be cutting my hair, cutting my beard and stuff like that. You know what I'm
So
saying?
so you're
That's the
not a
image.
fan. So you're not a fan of that policy.
No, I'm not a fan of that process because that's the image. If you want to have a long beard, long hair, that's your image. That's what you promoting.
I
It's
think
it's all a business. And it's a business for you. I'm there
right
for
there. Right there
That's
is
it.
why I think what right there to me, what you just said is why the Yankees have the policy because you're an image of the team. They're paying your salary. You project the team. If they want you to look professional, that's
Yeah.
what you got to do. Like look at like it. Like I've seen pictures of Yankee players in the off season. Like you can grow facial hair in the off season. During the season, no facial hair, no long hair. I just think I like that because it shows that you care. Because
Yeah,
with
yeah.
but look at a team like I'm trying to think of a baseball team that you would know that hasn't won. The um, the Padres, San Diego. They
Yeah.
spend the most. They've spent a lot of money. Never won a title. But I think maybe if they had more structure, they might have be more successful because they have something to follow. There's a structure.
And that's the thing.
I
These guys make the most money in almost all the sports unless it's soccer, unless you in
they make the most
FIFA and all that
millionaires.
stuff
Yeah,
going on. Yeah. So baseball is the number one sport in the USA that you're gonna get paid by. And if you getting paid, if the owner, that's another thing. If the owner is giving you what did Soto sign for? 500 million? What the heck? I mean,
oh,
Otani.
Otani, 700
Otani.
million. But here's a
Seven.
contract break. Here's a contract. The contract is very interesting. So I'll break it down for you. It's 10 years, 700, but it's not 70 million a year. What it is while he's on the team, he's only making 2 million a year
It's a
over
lot of
10 years.
money.
So he's making 20. No, here's the thing. He's making 20 million over 10 years. So he's making 2 million a year. Then after he's done
Where
with the
these balloons
contract and
coming
he's
from?
retired, I don't know. You saw it too, right? And then when he's done, when he's retired with the Dodgers, he's making 68 million a year for 10 years. So while he's playing, he's making nothing so he can go out and get good players. But once he retires, he's making almost $70 million a year. That's the contract. It's a ridiculous contract, but while he's playing, he's not making anything.
Yeah. So you break as you break it down like that, which
2 million a
sometimes
year,
I feel
basically.
like if you're gonna say a contract is 700 and something $1 million, but all of this has to be break down, none of these guarantees and stuff like that. Just give us the real price. Because if the 700 isn't the 700, just give us
No,
the
it's
taxes and all
700,
that
but
stuff out.
it's. Do you know who Bobby Bonilla is?
What is it?
Have you heard of Bobby Bonilla Day?
No.
So I think it's either June or July 1st. I'm gonna look it up. But what it is this his name is Bobby Bonilla. He's on a contract with the Mets. I think it goes to like 2034 or 2043, something like that. He makes 1.1 million every year for let me look at here. So his contract runs through 2035 and he gets 1.1 million a year through 2035. So it's kind of like that. Otani's not making basically anything for the next 10 years. But then the 10 years fine. It's basically a 20-year deal, but while he's playing, he's only making 2 million because he's
Yeah,
not making
because
anything
it's
so he can go
kind
out
of
and get
like,
good players.
yeah,
But
I
when he
understand.
retires, he's making 68 million a year. Like it's ridiculous.
That's crazy. And it's like I said, if you see that you making 700 and I pay and I'm the owner and I paid you money, that type of money, you better be cutting your hair down. You might need to
Dodgers
cut
don't
your
have
hair
that
down.
rule.
You might
Dodgers
need
don't have that rule. Only the Yankees have that rule. That's the
Yeah,
thing
I
you got to
know, but I'm
remember.
just saying,
Yeah.
you getting that type of money, you better abide by what I say. You know what I'm saying?
But
But
at that point, at the same point, when you also think he's like, you're paying me that much, I can maybe do whatever I
yeah,
because the next
yeah, if you
closest guy is making 400.
and that's crazy. But Otani deserves that type of money, whatever
Yes, he
like
does.
like what my guy Vance said off stream. Whatever you're offered, that's what
It's
your
what you're
value
worth.
is. And if Otani's getting 700 million, or he's getting an incentive bonus or whatever extension he's getting, it is what it is. Because that he's been playing at the ball out stage. Lost. I remember my guy Harper. That was my guy. That's when I was watching baseball. I like that guy.
World Series, yeah.
But
He didn't. Oh yeah, he was on the
he
team.
made a lot of
Juan
money.
Soto
So
is your guy.
what?
Juan Soto is your guy. The
Yeah.
one you were
Now
ran.
that's
Yeah.
my guy. So does my guy. He's making type of good money too. But if you making 700 million, I shout out to you. But Me and my guy Vance coming at you with more lies. We ready for wild card weekend, baby. We got the Cowboys. They gonna take this L. We got Matthew Stafford going against Jared Goff, revenge game. We're waiting for that. We're gonna give you a stream on that uh, after those games go off and the next day. But until next time, baby, go shout out to my boy Vance, my partner Vance, and I'll see you back on Lace 'em Up Sports Talk Show, baby. I thank you. God bless.